So Sixers blew out the Nets in the first game. Second game, a lot more interesting. Down by 5 at halftime. We kind of looked lost at certain points in the first half of the game, but that lead was erased, outscoring the Nets by 17 in the second half to win by 12. So my question to you guys, what changed in the second half to change the game and open it up for us, Eric?
Well, I mean, I think we were getting stops. I think I started scoring. I think more than anything, we buckled and started taking advantage of the way they were playing. They have their scheme. The guys started making the extra pass, making the right plays, and the effort was better. There was a game that I felt in the second half that we could. That's the type of game I felt we could have won, even when you don't shoot well, because a lot of other things were done well. The rebounding, the passing of the ball, the effort, defense. I think collectively and individually, everybody stepped up. That was a playoff win. Even though people kind of see us as a team that we should beat, they see the Nets as a team that we should beat.
Mm-hmm.
So some people are surprised when we kind of have a close game. That's a playoff win. Those are, if we're trying to go far, you'll have some games like that where it's just not going your way, but you still try to figure it out and you still pull it out in the end.
Ugly wins.
Yeah.
I felt Embiid settled in a little more as a playmaker instead of trying to force the ball that he did in the first half. I feel like James stopped forcing it as well. I think he let Maxey and Harris eat on their single teams a little more. Harris finally looked to dominate a smaller opponent. That was really nice to see. So in games 1 and 2, he shot the ball 14 times each game. Now, I want to guess from you guys, how many times did Tobias Harris shoot a ball 14 plus times in a game since February 1st? What are your guesses?
14 times?
14 or more.
1st?
Since February 1st. How many times has Tobias Harris done that?
2 or 3.
29 games. It's 29 games total from February 1st on. So there you go. There's a sample size.
2 or 3.
I'm going to say 1.
2 or 3, no more than 5.
0.
Holy crap.
0? Yeah. I mean, I know them very much.
Yeah. I mean, like down the stretch, he was shooting like single digits. So 2 games in a row, 14. He's clearly turning on to be more aggressive. I love seeing that. Overall, weird game. Some stats and some stuff I jotted down from it. Sixers doubled the Nets turnovers. Yet we almost had double their points off turnovers than they did, which was really interesting. So it shows you we did a great job getting back, coupled with the Nets' just inability to make jumpers. I think Jacques Vaughn talked about that too. Like they had some of the looks they wanted, they just couldn't make anything. So coaching wise, he felt like he made the right decisions. It just didn't show up in the stat sheet. And in fact, Embiid only had 1 less turnover than the entire Nets team, which is pretty crazy too. He had 8, they had 9 as a team. We shot horribly.
They missed a lot of shots wide open shots in the second half.
Oh yeah.
If I wanted to state one thing that I felt that was discouraging for us was that I think they'll make a lot of those shots at home. Especially if they get the crowd behind them, they get runs. They missed a lot of wide open shots.
They did, yeah. We both shot horribly at least, so it's not like we won despite shooting really well and they shot well. We both shot.
I mean, but that particular, the second half for the Nets in game 2 was the polar opposite of the first half in game 1 for us.
Yes.
So they get those same looks. If they would have knocked them down at the rate that we knocked them down, we would have lost that game.
Yeah. And coming out of the gate in the first half, we weren't making them at all.
You got to be careful giving guys and teams like wide open looks. I mean, it was wide open look after wide open look.
Yeah.
Got capable shooters. I mean, like Cam Johnson, who was extremely hot in the first half, had tons of wide open shots. Royce O'Neal, like they have him wide open.
Royce O'Neal had a lot.
Running out there wide open shots. Yes.
Your boy Dinwiddie can't hit the ocean from the beach.
That's why I said if he has he played well, they're hard to beat. That's why I said he was the most crucial guy.
Yeah.
And my buddy's a Nets fan. I told him you guys have had one guy go off in each game, but you haven't had a second guy help at all. First game was Bridges, no one else. Second game was Johnson, no one else. They haven't had a second guy to at least score like 20 something, even like 18 to 20 or something.
When you don't have a true number one.
Yeah. So we shot under 50% and won, something we only did 50% of the time during the season. We lost the free throw battle, which is pretty crazy for us because, we shoot a million. We killed them on the board.
Harden has 0 free throws through two games, 0 attempts through 2 games so far.
Wow. I didn't even know that. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
7-1 block.
Because he wasn't. I mean, that game once, but he's been attacking the rim, especially early in games. He was acting like he got fouled, but they weren't calling the fouls.
They weren't calling anything.
He's not getting calls. And you know what? I was actually talking to Marcus about it yesterday. Not that I was a big Houston fan, but I watched a lot of basketball throughout the years. It seems like over his career, Harden doesn't get those regular season calls. It's like, I know he still plays his game, so it's easy to say he should be used to that by now, but
yeah,
he seems shocked. He seems shocked that he doesn't get them.
I think it becomes a point of emphasis for teams to, hey, don't put him on. So I think the emphasis of on your hands when he does, I think they say something to the referees. I believe all of that is in play because you can see guys intentionally. You always know guarding the guy, especially a guy that pump fakes or tries to draw contact. The one thing you always want to tell referees and show referees is your hands. You want to show that, hey, I'm not reaching. So if you kind of show your hands more, they're less inclined to call that foul. So I believe that's a point of emphasis with James as far as because more teams are playing him one-on-one. So you play him more one-on-one and try to play him with length. That's the way to do it. Obviously, they try to make him go right, but that's the way you do it. You'll see it even more, and it could be worse on the road.
Yeah, well, zero free throw attempts. I mean, how much worse?
I'm saying as far as getting calls, it could be worse on the road.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe that they beat us in the free throw attempts. That's crazy.
You can get fouled, but it's just about whether you're getting fouled when you're shooting or in the bonus. I mean, that's the issue.
I thought at least one of those should have been called. You're right.
Some of them were fouls. I believe it's a point of emphasis for them, but I do believe that the referee could have called some of those calls and it wouldn't have been questioned.
Well, Embiid alluded to that too. He talked about how they're doing a lot of crying about having no fouls be called.
Yes.
Only Nick Nurse.
Yeah, that's why I said I felt that it was a point of emphasis for them telling the referees or saying something. Yeah, I believe that.
Man, but to go from 8 a game to 0 in 2 games, man, that's a huge change. What else? I mean, Joel went 33 to what? Yep.
Yeah.
I told you guys, I'm like, man, you can't let this just play. Like, well, I don't know why so the difference between when back then, like, I couldn't just waiting to the play the double. No, we're going to play. We're not going to let you just go off. But that's going to be every game, every series. Yeah. You have some teams that will doubling in certain situations or certain spots, but he's going to have to adjust because a very good, solid defensive team. Not saying that the Nets aren't. I'm just saying can change it up depending on where you are. If you're on the block, they may come on the pass. You're on the elbow, they may come on the dribble. You're on the wing, they may come on the dribble. Mm-hmm. If you dribble left, they may come from the top. You dribble right, they may come from the baseline. They can change it up on you, or they
did a better job of that in this game.
Or designated doubler. So he's done the job of finding people, but
he also had 8 turnovers. He had 8 turnovers doing it.
It was and they've done their job because they've forced him to turn the ball over, and they've kept him below average.
Yeah,
they just messed up. They didn't capitalize off those because we had double their turnovers, and we have double their points off turnovers. That's not a good sign.
the way game 2 looked, if we get a similar game like that on the road, we'll lose.
Yeah. Or if we play a better team like Boston, we'll lose.
I mean, I'm talking about this series right here. If we play similar, the way that we played in game 2, it will be a loss on the road. This series.